Hello, it's 13 with another dubstep based tutorial. This is a Growl I made in Native Instruments Massive, and I'm going to be taking you through the steps on how I made it, and there's going to be a download link in the description below. So first of all, with the first oscillator, it's on a hard PW or a dirty PWM with a bend minus plus, and I'll play you that without it going through the performer. And that kind of adds the mid-end a little more bassy, but still mostly mids. And you can just look at how I have the wavetable and intensity and amp are all the way up. And the second oscillator is an AI, again with bend minus plus. This time the wavetable position's all the way up. The intensity is at about 3 o'clock, and the amp's not all the way up, but I'm sure you could put it all the way up if you wanted to. And I'll play that without the performer on it. And that's the high squealy end of the Growl. So moving on to the last oscillator, oscillator 3, which is a carbon, and that's also pitched down 2 octaves. The wavetable position, again it's on bend minus plus. The wavetable position's just turned up a teeny bit. Intensity is just above 3 o'clock. The amp's all the way up. This is what it sounds like without the performer. And then all of them together without the performer sound like this. And obviously they're all going through filter 1, which I'll turn that off right now just so it sounds like without the filter and without the performer on the filter. Now when you're doing this, make sure that your fourth envelope looks like this so that you don't have the volume slowly arcing in. So now I'm going to go through what I did with the performer and with the modulation oscillator, and also with the filter, and then some effects. So what I did was, for the modulation oscillator, for the ring modulator, I have it on oscillator number 3, and it's just under 9 o'clock and pitched down an octave. For the phase, I have it almost all the way up, modulating the second oscillator, also pitched down an octave. Position, pitched down an octave at 3 o'clock, modulating the first oscillator, and filter FM's turned completely off. I don't have any white noise, no feedback. For insert 1, I have a hard clipper, and I have it at about pointing at the T of wet, and the drive almost at 3 o'clock. I have nothing on insert 2. And then what you do is you route all 3 oscillators into filter 1, and I turn the filter volume all the way up. I have it on double notch. For the cutoff, the arrow is pointing to about the C, and there's just a teeny bit of resonance, a bit under 9 o'clock. And what I did was I went to my first modulator, I put it to performer mode, and I drew in just some wave shapes or waveforms, but I noticed that it sounded a lot better without them all the way up, so I kept them at about 50%, and again the X fade's all the way up. And this is what it sounds like with the modulation on the cutoff and the intensity of each oscillator. And for effects, what I did was I have a small reverb. It's more on the dry side, about pointing at the D. The size is just at 50%. Density is pointing at the T, and color is just at 50% as well. For the second effects panel, I have the dimension expander, which is the dry and wet is about 9 o'clock, and the size is about 10 o'clock. For the EQ, I boosted the low shelf just a teeny bit. The boost, I put it pointing at the T. The frequency, I have it pointing at the F, and the high shelf is just 50%. For voicing, I put the uniso on 3. I made it monophonic. I made it a mono send. I put the pitch cutoff just a teeny bit in and used my performer to modulate that. And I have the wavetable position at halfway. I also have the pitch cutoff just pitched up to 0.95, which kind of gives it an out of tune sound, which is kind of cool. For the oscillator phases, I have it at restart via gate. I have that turned on, and oscillator 1 turned at 180. For the glide, I have the time turned up just to about 1 or 2 o'clock, but I mean, you can mess with that to get more of a glide for it. So now that everything's turned on and set up as I had it set up, this is just something I made with it so you can hear what I programmed in the performer for it to play. So this is what it sounds like when it's all done. And it's a good synthesizer for dubstep and making it the beginning growl for your drop. So I hope this tutorial helped you, and I hope that you have fun with the preset that I'm going to leave in the description. Thank you very much.